Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to be beginning at 12:30 sharp, so if you want to take your seats, thank you.
Test.
apologize, everyone. It's a little windy today. Okay. Good evening, everyone. If everyone would like to please find their seat and rise for the national anthem. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today at Queens College second annual COVID Memorial. We would like to recognize our honorable elected officials, their representatives, and the families and friends of the lost loved ones to COVID-19 that are with us today. Thank you for being here. 2020 left an undeniable mark on our lives. The COVID-19 pandemic took family members, friends, colleagues, neighbors, and other loved ones from us. We're still coping with the effects of these losses. Today, we come together to remember our loved ones taken too early by COVID-19, to remember people still suffering from the virus, and to remember people whose lives were changed forever because of this pandemic. We also come together today to remember the power of community. Many came together, Queens College included, during the darkest days of the pandemic and leaned on each other for support and comfort. The kindness and empathy people exhibited during these times was a bright spot in an otherwise dark world. With the unveiling of our new COVID memorial, we hope that our friends and family members who lost someone find comfort knowing that their loved one's legacy will live on Queens College and remember the supportive community that is here for them. Those who touch our lives stay in our lives forever. I would like to invite Jessica and Danielle Alejandro to the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. We would like to welcome all who are in attendance to the second annual Queens College COVID Memorial. After our memorial last year on April 13th, we proposed a permanent COVID memorial to honor our loved ones lost to COVID within our Queens College community. We have been so fortunate to have not only the support of Queens College, but the support of our good friend, New York State Senator Joseph Adabo, who has generously funded this memorial alongside Queens College. March 8th, March 8th marked the 2-year anniversary of our papa's passing, our grandpa, as seen here. Although the pain of his loss will never be lightened nor forgotten, it has been cathartic using our grief to help those affected by the pandemic. From the friendships that turned into family to the creation of support programs and today's memorial, everything we do and will forever do will be in our papa's honor. Once again, thank you for attending this very special memorial as we honor the lives of our loved ones lost within our Queens College community. Thank you.
I apologize, everyone. Thank you, Danielle and Jess. I would like to now invite the Director of Lutheran Campus Ministry and the Vine at Queens College, Adele Tagash.
I hope everyone is well today. Please receive this blessing. Know that you are truly blessed for gathering in the dedication of our loved ones today. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May he make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May he look upon you with favor and give you his everlasting peace. May you be blessed for your good thoughts and deeds, and may your sorrows be comforted. Thank you so much for coming today. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Adele. I would like to now invite one of our students, Lizbeth Martin, to read a poem.
Hi everyone, I want to say thank you for coming, and for those family who are grieving, my condolences. The poem I'm going to be reading is Bright by Hannah Mann. I sit here quietly and think of you, what happened and what we have missed together. I sit here quietly and reach for you, looking at the sun still shining and hearing the birds still singing. The world remains turning forever. I will always remember the day you left here, your smallness and grace. You were so loved but could not stay any longer. So I reflect upon this gift you have given me of everlasting love whenever I consider your aura and beautiful face. You have changed me as a person. You have made me better. I am also thankful to those that cared for you. When in this garden, I will imagine us all holding hands together. There will always be darkness and there will always be light. May the impact we have on others continue to be full of hope and be bright. Thank you.
Thank you, Lizbeth. Oop. I apologize, everyone, for the wind. I'd like to now invite Senator Adabo's representative, Deputy Chief and Staff, Sean McCabe, and thank him and his team for the generous donation made to make this memorial possible.
Good afternoon. The microphone's right of me. Afternoon, everybody. The senator wants to send his apologies for not being here. He's still got his obligations up in Albany, finalizing the budget. He does want to send his thanks to Queens College, the students, the staff, for all of their hard work, especially to the Alejandro sisters, for organizing this. Their indomitable fortitude in making sure that this, making sure that everyone who has been affected by this through a loved one's loss are remembered. And having it serve as a reminder that even through our darkest times, us as New Yorkers, as long as we stay together, we'll always see the light, and nothing will ever beat us. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. McCabe. I'd like to now, a little taller than I am. You're okay. Again, thank you. We would like to now welcome the COVID Survivors for Change Executive Director, Christopher Kocher.
Just about right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to Queens College, Jessica and Danielle. You guys are a force of nature. And everyone, especially all the bereaved families that are here today. This is a historical moment. It's one of only a handful of permanent memorials that have opened across the country, and I'm sure there'll be more. But really, thanks to your leadership for making this one of the first across the country. I live just down the road in Sunnyside, and I had been working for close to a decade in the gun violence prevention movement, supporting families directly impacted by gun violence. When I started COVID Survivors for Change, because I saw how my neighborhood and so many of the people in my neighborhood were devastated by the pandemic in those early days. Since then, COVID Survivors for Change has become a nationwide community. We support survivors, we help them remember their loved ones, and we advocate for stronger pandemic prevention policies. And since we started, we've created COVID Connections, which provides more than 4,500 hours of free mental health support to people since 2020. We've offered trainings for advocacy, talking to media, self-care for people, for more than 1,000 survivors. Most recently, and I think what I'm really honored to be here today to talk about, is we've been fighting to raise awareness about the more than 300,000 children who lost parents or caregivers to COVID. I know being here in New York, remembering what 9/11 was and how much the community pulled together for all the children who were impacted by that. Think about 300,000, and that's 15,000 children alone here in New York. So last year, we worked in California to provide, with the governor's budget, to get $115 million in the governor's budget for baby bonds, which are publicly funded savings accounts that can then be used for college or starting a business or buying a home. It's one of the most effective ways to reduce the racial wealth inequity gap. And we're fighting for that here in New York. And so if you'd like to learn more, please grab me afterwards. But we were in Albany last month with our team, with Assemblyman Santa Barbara, to introduce a bill that would provide scholarships for children who lost parents to COVID. And next month, we'll have a bill introduced for baby bonds specifically here in New York. And I think, just to share one story, we were in Albany, and I was with Ronnie Fletcher, whose husband Joseph died from COVID. And he was an MTA worker. He worked on fixing city buses. He was one of those essential workers who had to go to work, in those early days in 2020. And he passed away from COVID. And their son Joshua, started college this year. He graduated a year early from college, and wasn't able to go to his top choice college because of financial reasons with his dad passing away. And so this scholarships bill, if we're able to pass it, would help his siblings be able to not take on this additional burden for college. It is really windy up here. So I just want to stop. If you want to learn more about that, please grab me afterwards. But, I think what we're here today is sharing stories. I'm a true believer that stories really move political mountains in this really, dark and cynical and difficult political time. Stories are really one of those things that can bring together, can help people understand and motivate them to fight for change. And so that's what we're doing at COVID Survivors for Change. And again, thank you to everyone for being here today. And this is really an honor for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kocher. I would like to now invite back up Jessica and Danielle to the stage.
Hi. Danielle, our mom, and I were asked to write a piece about our papa for a special COVID remembrance project. And we would both like to read you an excerpt from our pieces. Okay. I put off writing this for a bit because it solidified the truth. I'm living a time in my life when you are no longer here. I never thought about the time we had together ever being restricted until the pandemic and until you called to tell me you tested positive. We had so much more life to live together, memories to make, and IHOP dates to have. I never thought about you not being here to see me have a graduation where I would rock across the stage, or meet my future husband, or hold your great-grandchild the way you used to hold me. If anyone could have overcome this virus, it was you. It had to be you, because I needed you. We all needed you. Sorry. But we knew your strength and felt your love as we have for many years. Myself, 24 years. Your unconditional love was felt through every phone call, every hug, and every I love you. My papa, the light from your smile and warm hugs that melted my worries away were taken too soon. I tried to recreate your head rubs that made us fall asleep like when we were babies, but nothing compares to your gentle touch. Babies, your babies. You always told us we would always be your babies, no matter our ages.
It was always just the five of us, me, Jess, Mom, Dad, and Papa. Papa had been in my mom's life since she was 7 years old, but he loved her and treated her as if she was his very own. She was also his baby, no matter how old she was. My mom would always joke around when we were with Papa and say he was my papa first. My papa loved my dad and also treated him as if he was his very own son. They both would turn into two bad little kids when they were together. They were true partners in crime. My dad would make Papa laugh so hard that he would be in actual tears. I replay his greetings in my head. Sorry. Hi, baby, or when I would need to calm down, he would tell me, baby, relax. In the moments when I feel like everything is falling apart, I can hear him, and I hope I never forget his voice or the feeling of being so loved by him. I came across a quote from C.C. Orwell that states, "Now I have to remember you for longer than I have known you." Even when I am a mother one day and continue to grow old, I will forever remember and miss my papa. How lucky are we to have loved and have been loved by Papa so much to miss him this much, and to experience the last act of love, which is grief. My papa was such a strong force to be reckoned with, and even in his death, his spirit lives on and his presence is so strong. The love we all shared is enough love to last lifetimes. I will forever honor my papa and keep him alive. I will spend the rest of my days telling people about the love we all shared and about my papa, Joseph Anthony Solkowitz.
May the lives of our dear loved ones taken too soon from us be forever remembered and honored.
And may their memories and mark on our lives not only be etched in our hearts, but within this memorial as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jess and Danny. That was beautiful. And I also would like to recognize the two girls for all the incredible work that they have done to make this possible. I would like to now welcome to the stage Jean Brostek-Altenew.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm a numbers person, so I'm going to start with some numbers. Sometime in February 2020, the first United States death from COVID-19 was reported. The following month, on March 25th, my father, Joseph Brostek, died from this disease. There were few treatment options back then, and certainly no vaccines. We were still fumbling with masks. As a matter of fact, when I took him to urgent care to be treated, we were each wearing our masks upside down. We estimate my dad was approximately the 1,000th US victim of the pandemic. Just 1 year later, the death toll was up to 500,000, and as of today, the grim total exceeds 1.1 million souls in the United States and nearly 7 million globally. In our country, during the first 2 weeks of April that just passed, we still averaged over 100 deaths per day. So our grief continues, even as we attempt to return to a sense of normalcy. The reason we are all here today is to honor all the COVID-19 victims, and especially those who are close to Queens College. So now let me tell you a little bit about my father. My parents were Queens College sweethearts. Carol Heiser and Joe Yogi Brostek met at the Catholic Newman Center in 1950. They were both extremely active. Dad held many roles, including student body president, Phi Omega Alpha fraternity president, and commander of the campus U.S. Air Force ROTC. He was nicknamed Yogi because he played catcher in baseball and shared a birthday with Yogi Berra. After graduation, they married and had 5 children, including my sister Carol, who is here today, who graduated Phi Beta Kappa from this fine institution. Our family was designated a Queens College Alumni Family of the Year in 1965. After a long and successful corporate career, Dad returned to Queens College in 1988 as Executive Director of Events and Alumni Affairs. He assumed responsibility for, among other things, planning and organizing the annual commencement ceremonies. Fun fact, for the 22 commencement ceremonies that he directed, there was not a single day of rain. And that is why my family still has several unopened Queens College rain ponchos. He retired in 2010 after 22 years of service, yet continued to give back by being on the executive committee of the Queens College Retirees Association. Former Borough President Helen Marshall twice declared Joseph Brostick Day in the Borough of Queens. He received this honor in 2005 on the 50th anniversary of his college graduation, and in 2010 upon his retirement from Queens College. After retirement, the Carol and Joe Brostick Scholarship Fund was established. It awards a scholarship each year to a graduating senior who is pursuing graduate studies and has demonstrated academic excellence while serving in campus leadership positions that have benefited Queens College. Our tight-knit family, including the grandchildren, learned many life lessons from Dad about hard work. He would always say if it was easy, anyone could do it. And being proud of one's accomplishments. Sign your work and work your sign was one of his favorite sayings. That is why I'm honored to be able to share his story with you today. Thank you to President Wu, Ariana Livreri, Joanna Kista, and many others from the college who made this day possible, as well as Danielle and Jessica. My family enjoys hearing stories from people who worked with our dad as a way to keep his memory alive. So in closing, let us always remember those that we lost during this horrific pandemic. We must learn from the past and trust the science. Let us honor our healthcare professionals. Let us be grateful for the first responders, transit employees, and others who are on the front lines every day. And may we be incredibly proud of the students and teachers who displayed creativity, flexibility, and dedication in order to keep our education system functioning. Finally, we know that yellow is the official color for COVID remembrance. It is also the color of the sunrise, which allows all of us to mourn and move forward each day. God bless you all.
Thank you, Jean, for that beautiful speech. I would also like to direct your attention over to the banner located over here. This banner will also live in the library for anyone to see after the event is over. So I'd like to now have President Wu join us to the stage.
All right, there we go. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this blustery morning here at Queens College on our beautiful campus for a somber and important event, our second annual COVID-19 Memorial. I'm honored to be here with all of you in mourning and also as we look forward to this return to normalcy, understanding that this terrible disease claimed the lives of so many who were close to us, so many loved ones. I want to thank Ramondo Graziano, Chief of Staff for New York State Senator Joseph Adabo, for being here and for his office's generous donation to the Queens College fund that helped to build the memorial. All of us are just so appreciative of the support of the senator over the years, not just today, but over many years. Special thanks to Ariane Livriri, Associate Director of Civic Engagement. Such an important responsibility for an institution such as ours in the heart of the world's borough, a public institution, and to everyone who helped to put this together. Thank you to the talented student musicians Sarah Strasso and Chloe Dickens for opening the event with a beautiful duet, and Adele Tagash Sahilu, Director of the Lutheran Campus Ministry, The Vine at Queens College, for the blessing. Thank you to Queens College student Lisbeth Marte for the poetry reading, and we're especially grateful that Christopher Coucher, Executive Director of COVID Survivors for Change, and Gianna Altenew, who's representing the Brostick family, could join us. As you've heard, Joe Brostick was a 1955 alumnus of Queens College who spent 22 years back at his alma mater in such an important role. And even after retiring in 2010 with his wife, Carol, they established the Carol and Joe Brostick Scholarship, which is presented annually to this day to a graduating senior planning to pursue further study, and who has demonstrated academic excellence in leadership roles on campus. That's what college life is about. Not just the books, but also learning to embrace the fullness of our experience as human beings, to take on these important roles on campus, often so thankless, to give us a sense of community. And we know and we mourn the loss of Joe Brostick 3 years ago, early on in this pandemic, before we quite comprehended what it meant. And it's just so important that we honor his memory, and I want to thank again his family for joining us. Finally, we wouldn't be here today without the outstanding work and dedication of two sisters who are part of this community, Jessica and Danielle Alejandro, who lost their beloved grandfather, Joseph Anthony Salkowitz, on March 8th, 2021. They turned their grief into action, not just mourning for themselves, but helping a community heal, because we know that Queens was the center of the center early on and for so long with this devastating pandemic. Today, then, we honor all those in our community, faculty, staff, students, the loved ones, our friends, who lost their lives, whose lives were cut short by this horrible disease. It's appropriate that the bell ring on this occasion. And while we're happy that life has mostly returned to normal and the last of the COVID restrictions are coming to an end, and CUNY has announced that with the close of this semester, all of the emergency measures will be lifted, we know that our students are enjoying vibrant college life yet again. We'll wait a moment. This is an appropriate pause. Does it ring 12 times for noon? All right. Yet, despite all the victories in this battle against COVID-19, the scars of the past few years remain. COVID changed our lives. Our lives are now forever marked. The time before the lockdown, and now this future which we are experiencing together, but with the loss of so many who were sick, who struggled, who were in social isolation, who lost a job, or worst of all, lost a loved one. It's likely that every one of us gathered here knows somebody who suffered the fatal consequences of COVID-19, and it's fitting then that today we unveil a memorial to honor them. I invite you all to walk with me to the bottom of Cooperman Plaza, where the Brostek and Alejandro family will unveil a permanent memorial from Queens College to all the members of our community writ large, to commemorate, to remember, and to mourn. That is what we do as a community. Thank you once again for joining us on this important, this profound occasion.
Thank you, President Wu. So as President Wu has mentioned, we ask that everyone please stand. We have a flower for everyone here today. We will be having a moment of silence before we unveil the COVID memorial. Please feel free to either place your rose next to the memorial or take it as a momentum for those that you lost. Again, thank you everyone for being here, and you could make your way down the ramp. Thank you. At this time, if you'd like to place your rose next to the memorial, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, we're going to have the family members of the Alejandro family and the Brostek family unveil our new COVID memorial. Before that, again, thank you so much for everything you've done to make this possible. Thank you to the elected officials, Senator Dabo, all of their representatives, the students that are here today, the friends and family of lost loved ones. We appreciate you being here and being a community together during this time.
Oh, sorry. It says, goodbye is not forever. Goodbye is not the end. It simply means I'll miss you until we meet again. Honoring the lives lost to COVID in the Queens College community.
This concludes our COVID memorial. Thank you again, everyone, for being here. Anyone who's here for the VIP reception, please stick back and we'll walk over to the reception together. Have a great day, everyone. We're walking over together to Rosenthal 525.